Welcome back, everybody. Saying again, live show Friday, live football Friday from Western Dodge and Moose Jaw. Scott Schultz will be with us live from the dealership, and the CFL on TSN's Jim Barker will be with us in hour two from Toronto. Okay, speaking of the CFL on TSN, Tom Gazzola, I've been waiting a long time to get you on the air, buddy. How's your week going, my man?
It's been awesome. Thanks for having me, Rod. No complaints. Nice week in Edmonton weather-wise. We had our station, our EST golf tournament. Dusty Nielsen had a great time. Had a few beverages, great sponsors, and awesome listeners too. So it's been a fun week, and then it's going to be capped off with the Lions and Elks on Sunday.
I love it. Edmonton, one of Canada's great sports towns, one of the continent's great sports towns. And I should have said, Tom Gazzola from TSN Edmonton, but also Edmonton Sports Talk. I was watching the game Sunday, and I always think you do a great job, but I'm sitting there going, now's the time. I got to get him on. Tom, I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and it looked like a great atmosphere there in Commonwealth on Sunday when the Elks beat Ottawa 39-33. The score flattered Ottawa, I thought. How about you?
Mm-hmm. Yes, and that late touchdown, kind of did that as well. And Mark Killam and the guys on defense were talking about how they're mad that they allowed that last one to leak in, but the Red Blacks obviously looking to push and make a game of it. And as we know, Rod, in the CFL, games aren't done till the final buzzer goes or the last whistle goes. So it was exciting. The vibe was good. I think just the fact that the Elks won their first game in July since 2022 tells you why things have been a little bit slower at Commonwealth in terms of people getting there. Not a great crowd, but the people that were there were really into it. They were treated to a great game. Hopefully that's a springboard for this Sunday. We get more people back in the building. And as you alluded to, Edmonton can be a great sports town, especially if on the football side of things. We've seen it on the hockey side. And people love their double E. It's just you need to win games to get them to come back. So it's been a rough few years here. I love doing those games, Rod. I mean, they're fun. There's a million things happening on the sidelines. And there's some producers that make you hustle, and there's other ones that are kind of letting you kind of do your own thing. And I was working with John Hines, who I'm sure you know, and Hines, was like, Tommy, get over there. Tommy, get over there. And to me, when you're hustling, and to me, it's super fun. It's a little bit different pace from hockey. I love it.
Okay, well, listen, a lot to unpack with you, Tom. I feel like we're not going to cover it all today. I got to bring you back someday. And the viewers got questions for you as well. So we got a lot to get to. And we'll get to the Oilers. But I want to know about you. I've been following you for a while. I am a big fan. Just tell me about Tom Gazzola. What's your story?
Yeah, just an Edmonton kid, Rod. I've been following you for a long time, obviously well aware of your work. So the appreciation is definitely mutual. And I actually started out covering the Oilers on Oilers TV. So I was one of the first digital reporters in the National Hockey League when it was really becoming a thing. I left CTV Edmonton back in 2010. I had just started anchoring sports out there. And then when I took that job with the Oilers and hosting Oilers TV, people were like, what are you doing? It's not a thing. And then sure enough, now it's become more and more prominent among the National Hockey League teams. And then obviously in North American pro sports, went to TSN 1260. And then obviously started with TSN filling in when Ryan Rashog was here and there. And then unfortunately, TSN 1260 got shut down a couple summers ago. So myself, Dusty Nielsen, Lieutenant Eric, Matthew Wanek, all the 1260 guys, we created Edmonton Sports Talk. We sniped Reed Wilkins from Ched, which was a big get for us. And then we filled out our roster with some former NHLers, Joaquin Gage, Matt Cassian, and Sean Bell. And we've got a good thing going here, which has been great. And then the CFL on TSN, I did a couple of games a couple seasons ago, again, filling in for Shoggy. And then last year I did a few more. And then this year they said, can you do the full season? I said, absolutely. So that's kind of the backstory. Been around the Oilers for, I think, 17 seasons. Basically, when I was in diapers is when I started covering them.
Yeah, well, listen, I got to say this. We have a lot of viewers in Edmonton. Our ratings show us that. We hear from them a lot. So my friends, you said you've been following my career. I'm in my 50s, okay? So all my friends from Edmonton, whether they're me, like AJ Jakovic's example of a guy or Dave Campbell, they all say, well, in the 80s, the Oilers and the Eskimos were right here, they for popularity. And they were. But you're not in our age bracket. So tell me growing up what Oilers versus Eskimos was like and who was popular and what the deal was when you were growing up in Edmonton.
Yeah, it was Oilers above Eskimos, but I mean, this is the mid '90s to early 2000s, and that's when the CFL had dropped off compared to the NFL. Obviously, they weren't getting 48,000 people at Commonwealth for games, but they're still getting 35,000. The Labor Day rematch would be 40, 45 plus, and that was one of my early football memories. And then the Oilers sucked in the mid '90s. I mean, they had those years where they missed the playoffs between '92 and '96, got back in '97. The Cujo, Doug Waite years. So that's kind of where, I started to really understand the sporting landscape. But I still love the CFL. I still love going to Commonwealth Stadium. I have my season seats that I bought after they won the Grey Cup in 2005. That was one of my first, I'm a man, I'm in my 20s now moments, was I'm going to go buy season seats to one of the teams in this city. And I still have them to this day. So those were the years that I was kind of getting my feet wet with the sporting landscape in the city. Obviously, you follow the teams here, and they're always in the paper. I'd read the sports section every morning when I was having my cereal before I went to school. And I fondly remember the Ricky Ray years here at Edmonton. Terry Vaughn, who else? Jason Tucker, Ed Hervey when he was a player. Those guys, Jason Moss. Those were the guys that I really started to understand and love Canadian football with. And then obviously the Oilers went into the decade of darkness, and I had a front row seat to that as well. But yeah, the mid to late '90s, early 2000s is when I really started to understand and grasp the sporting landscape of the city. And yeah, it has been Oilers dominated, even more so now, especially with the Eskimos, now Elks, losing so much. And really, they've gone through a nightmare 5 years. But there's no reason, Rod, and I'm sure you're well aware of this, that you can love the CFL, you can love the NFL. It's okay to like both and appreciate what you have in your own backyard. And sometimes you have to remind people my age and younger that it's okay to like Canadian football as well as the National Football League. Nobody says you can't.
Tough. It's like sometimes pushing a ball uphill, but we'll keep pushing it,
Mm-hmm.
Tommy. Those of us that
Yep.
that see it that way. So in short, you're living a dream. Now, when I said that they were having a great time in the stadium at Commonwealth, they are. People want the Elks to be good so bad up there, and I'm just like, do you understand? They're not going. I don't think going to host a home playoff game. Like, what's the expectations for the Elks amongst the fans and you, for instance, because you're covering them every day? Are you realistic? Are they realistic or not?
I think so. I think people here understand, baby steps and just building blocks and trying to finally get this franchise on solid ground, because that's something that has been missing here for a while. And under Len Rhodes, the team was still pretty good, but it's only hosted 4 playoff games in the last 2 decades, and a playoff game every year was the expectation. I mean, being a team contending for the Grey Cup was an expectation. Now, I mean, they hardly make the playoffs, and that's chased a lot of people away. Yes, the name change has chased a lot of people away, but Larry Thompson and his family are trying to get that familiarity back. You see it in the retouched uniforms where the double E is prominent. You got the nice stripes back, and they brought back Nanook, the mascot that had been gone for the last few years, and so it's reconnecting with the history of the team, and we'll see where it goes from here. But you need the winning culture too. And you're right. There are people that are excited about this team, and you see the tailgate, and they're trying to build on that. And then you want to get the wins as well. When it comes to what I expect from them this year, honestly, Rod, if they can better last year's 7-11 record, that would be great. I think 9-9 might be achievable. Obviously, tough start, bit of a murderer's row in those first 3 games, plus the bye week, which is, I feel like it's hard to get an early week or early season bye. That was week 2 for the Elks. So that's tricky, and they're kind of trying to find their rhythm. And you can hear the guys saying, yeah, we're starting to find our groove, especially on the defensive side of the ball with how many points they give up. They need to get into a bit of a rhythm. Fans here, I think, have the understanding that it might not be a winning season, but as long as it's somewhere around where they were last year, and they're competitive early in the season, because like 0-9 starts, like we saw a couple of years ago, 0-7 last season, that's unacceptable. But it does feel like with Chris Morris and Ed Hervey coming in, Mark Killam, exciting young new coach, people are genuinely eager to see what this group can do. And I think they're going to give them a little bit of grace. But that win last week, I think, went a long way as well, kind of reassuring people that this thing might be going in the right direction.
Before we switch gears to the Oilers, I'll just switch gears to hockey overall and MMA or bare knuckle fighting. How's the Nick Tarnasky story going over up there in Edmonton since you're just up to number 2 from it?
Yeah, what a video. To me, I said it earlier on our station. I said that guy was kind of asking for it, and you're messing with the bull. You're going to get the horns, and that's what happened. And the RCMP said there's no investigation, nobody pressed charges or anything like that. And I don't know how many beverages that guy that got thrown into the lake had, or what else he might have consumed, but he was asking for it, and he got what he deserved. So it's people kind of chuckled at it. Hopefully, and it doesn't sound like Tarnasky's coaching with Red Deer Minor Hockey is going to be affected. At least in my opinion, it shouldn't be. If you're going to be an idiot on a golf course, I mean, expect to get what's coming to you. And I think that's what happened. And the fact there's been no repercussion outside of shame for that gentleman, I think is quite fitting. So people are getting a good chuckle out of it. I know people will take shots at Alberta and Red Deer, but that's what happens. If you're an idiot on any golf course, something's going to happen. You got to watch your mouth and what you do. And unfortunately, that became a viral video. But yeah, I kind of chuckled when I saw that, and I'm like, boy, what a dum-dum.
Case closed. And I hope Red Deer Minor Hockey does the right thing and brings Nick back on the bench of the AAAs this year. Okay, to the Edmonton Oilers. What is the outlook for them? Going back to the Cup for a third straight year, or what?
Well, I mean, people around here are salivating for that, Rod, but me kind of looking at what's happened, the exodus of veteran players, and now the introduction of younger guys that have lesser experience. There's been a lot of talk about this David Tomasek, who the Oilers signed out of Europe. He was leading the Swedish Hockey League in scoring last year, Czech player, 29 years old. I stand by good teams, especially contenders, are teams that are loaded with solid NHL veterans. And yeah, you can have a good rookie or two here and there, but it's the teams with tweeners and guys that are unproven that can falter. And the Oilers are bringing in guys like, and I know we're going to talk about Ike Howard here, like a Tomasek, who's given a one-way deal. And then we're expecting Matt Savoy to make a push for a full-time job with the big club after a really strong season last year down in Bakersfield. So the youth movement is in a little bit, and I think that's understandable considering the Oilers were the oldest team in the league last year. People knocking them for being slower and their game not being where it needed to be in December and January, sure. But we saw the evolution of the team and the roster as the year went on. But if people here are saying, hey, they got to get back to the Cup final, I understand that. I just think that with this roster as it stands today on July 10th, not a contender. But as we've seen, like I mentioned, it can change throughout the course of a season.
Explain, please, your perspective on the trade with Tampa Bay this week. 2 top-end prospects flipping teams. Seems a little odd. What's the story behind that?
Yeah, I think with Sam O'Reilly, they want to speed things up. Like, this was a good prospect. We saw him have a good Memorial Cup, really solid center. He's a playmaker. I liked him. I really enjoyed having conversations with him at training camp where he kind of stole a lot of attention, especially early on. People were looking to see what this guy had, and he kind of showed up, especially in his first couple of preseason games. Now the competition got tougher as things went on. More veterans are playing, and sure enough, they sent him back to junior, which was fine. So I was really looking forward to seeing what he could do eventually with the Oilers. Eventually being the key word there, because the Oilers need to stay in the window now. They need to get younger now. They need to maintain skill and make sure that they have guys that can contribute so they do contend year in, year out. And I think that's what we saw with this trade is you're getting a guy in Howard that's a little bit older, a little bit further down the development path. Yes, unproven at the NHL level. So they're willing to sacrifice that future of O'Reilly for a guy that they think can slide in now. And we'll see. It sounds like Howard's going to have an opportunity to play with some of the best players in the world. The whole swagger thing, I kind of admire and appreciate it, but he's not going to walk into that Oilers locker room and tell Leon Draisaitl where to go if he doesn't like something that's said. Like, you can't. You just can't. There's too many good, solid players, superstar guys in 97 and 29 that's their room. You come in, you fit in, and you're going to get a chance to succeed. So it just feels like they're kind of speeding up the timeline, making sure they get the fresh blood in, but somebody who's a little more ready to play and deliver now as opposed to a guy like O'Reilly. That's my interpretation, at least.
So here's the big one on Oilers goaltending. As a goalie guy, and I was one. I feel if were ever a goalie, you're always a goalie.
Mm-hmm.
I hate haters, Tom, and you strike me as the kind of guy that hates them too. So I was always sticking up for Stuart Skinner and to a lesser degree, Calvin Pickard. But with what went on in the Stanley Cup final, I got to sit back and honestly look at it, big picture, and go, maybe they were right. I mean, if you got two goalies and you don't know who you're starting in Game 5 of the Stanley Cup final, you got a problem. Yeah. And that's, But where are we on that here in the summer, in the offseason?
You're right. I've been accused of being a Skinner apologist, especially this year. I like the kid. I've known him since they drafted him. I saw him day one at the draft. Like, he's a good guy. And this is something as the season goes along, like they're going to start with these two guys again. Listen, Pickard had a fantastic year. I don't know how much better of a season you can ask for from a backup goalie. And then he goes in and he starts 7-0 in the playoffs. It's a problem that he's starting all those games. Yes, we have to acknowledge that. But with Skinner, he just finished up his third year. I remind people that are dumping on him, he's gone to the Cup final twice. No, they haven't won it. I understand that. Yes, he let in bad goals. He did take a step back this past season throughout the regular season. The consistency where it was this year wasn't where it needs to be. But I think he's put together a pretty decent resume so far. I mean, through 3 full seasons, he's been a Calder finalist. He's been an all-star, although I think he was filling in for Logan Thompson that year with the weird all-star format that we have in the NHL. And then, he goes deep with a really good team a couple of years. Doesn't get the job done. I still think that there is room for Stu Skinner to improve and get better. He's going to be 27 next year. He's going to be in his 4th year. It sounds like there's going to be a new voice in the goaltending coaching department as well with the Oilers. We'll wait for confirmation on that, obviously, but maybe a fresh perspective can help him. Maybe a new season can help him. Maybe he learned some stuff along the way last year. So I don't like giving up on a guy, especially a guy you put time and effort and invested in just because of one bad year. And I understand, from a fan's point of view, that the patience to wait might not be there. But if there's no growth from within, I think Stan Bowman and Jeff Jackson will probably try to make a move in the season. But if they see Stu Skinner strengthen his game, clean up some little things here and there, they might not have to. And right now, for the goaltending tandem that the Oilers have, they're coming in at a bargain basement rate, and that's good money-wise because they don't have a lot of cap space right now. That's another issue too.
We got like 45 seconds with you, but the viewers want to know what's it like having your name chanted by Elks fans at the games when you're on the sidelines.
It's funny because my A2 that's with me is like, they're cheering for you louder than they're cheering for the cheerleaders. I'm like, oh my God. It's funny. I'm usually assuming I'm being chirped, Rod, and I'm probably being chirped, but I like it. The best one I got was in Calgary at the start of the year. I did Stamps Ticats. That was my first Calgary game. And right when I walked out of the tunnel and they gave me the mic, all I hear from the corner is, "We want Orlesky." And I just looked up and I'm like, I would too. It's good. I think a good ribbing is worth it, but yeah.
See, next time we got to talk about this because I feel, and I've done everything in this perilous trade, and I think sideline reporting is the hardest thing to do. Now, I know you've been doing it for a while. You got many years of doing it. Want to hear some stories next time we come back with you. We don't have time here, but Tom, enjoy the rest of the summer, whatever you guys have for it there, and I appreciate the time, man. Thanks for coming on, and keep being you.
Will do. Appreciate it, Rod. Really appreciate it.
Tom Gazzola from Edmonton Sports Talk and the CFL on TSN. I'll tell you some sideline stories when I come back, too. Oh, they're amazing. Amazing. We'll be right back here on Game Plus and streaming live.